Oh, there's so many different things you think about, Chris, because one, that door, that's probably about 7 feet tall, right? So you got almost 6 feet of debris blocking that door, and that explosion, and again, I'm not an engineer, but it didn't blow inward. I mean, imagine if that had blown inward instead of outward. I'm sure it's designed to be insulated from the rest of the building, but this could have been a much worse situation than what we're looking at now. Where I want to go up to the top of the building really quick because I'm looking at all these air conditioning units, and just look at that one right there. Look at all the damage done to that one unit, and there were 3 or 4 other units that were pulled completely out of their windows and down to the ground. So there was a lot of force there. That's the one I was looking at before. Look at how that's just hanging out that window, all mangled up. I mean, imagine the power it took to create that kind of damage.
All right, it is about 9:25 here, and we are following breaking news coverage. This is the Mott Haven section of the Bronx. We have a partial building collapse. Some of the first reports came in from New York City Emergency Management about 53 minutes ago. So just about an hour ago, that's when we know that this started. We have our helicopter up over the scene. This is the Mott Haven section of the Bronx, and a partial building collapse. And it appears that the area where this situation is unfolding is the incinerator shaft. The incinerator shaft, and you can see from the top floor all the way down to the bottom floor, there has been an implosion. As we pan down to the ground there, we will see FDNY. We will see some of those search and rescue dogs who will be down there. We may see a drone that's also up. At this moment, we have not heard any reports of injuries or anyone who's died, but we aren't sure if in this area below this building, this is sort of a common area of this residential building, this tower here, apartment complex, if anyone was in that area. Was anyone down there when this implosion happened in this incinerator section, the incinerator shaft of this building? Some of the details as we know them so far. It appears that this was a gas explosion, some type of gas explosion, because when it happened, not only did residents in that area hear this loud sound, of course the sound of an explosion, they felt the rattling in the building, but they also smelled gas. And so that was our earliest indication of maybe some of the causes here. When we talk about how much, what was the impact, take a look at what you're looking at on your screen right there. Those are air conditioning units that were crushed, that were damaged, that came crashing down. If he does pan up on the side of the building again, you will be able to see in some of the windows of the units here, those were shaken. Some of them fell out of the windows there shattered themselves. On top of the building, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4 FDNY officials. They're taking a closer look, perhaps some of the earliest indications that they want to know about the cause of this situation. In the neighborhood nearby, Mott Haven section, this is Alexander Avenue, 205, 207 Alexander Avenue. We're getting conflicting reports of exactly where that is. We know that obviously the streets are closed, emergency personnel on scene. We are expecting a briefing from the FDNY, possibly even from top city officials, as we are waiting for the official word, the official cause. No injuries at this time, and yeah, you can see some of the reporters down there on scene. What we don't know is the specifics of what caused this. Was there construction happening in this building? Were there repairs that were happening in this building? Was there some kind of crew that was working to do something to fix anything in that building, and that sparked the explosion? We aren't sure. Those are some of the questions that they're going to have to answer. We do believe that the building itself was evacuated, so it doesn't look like any residents are inside, but this is not a building that's just sort of out on its own. This is a heavily trafficked area in Mott Haven section, and you can see there's a school right next door. Were there kids inside the school at about 8:23, 8:30 when this all went down? You can be sure that kids were either on their way to school or they were already in class, and so you can assume that they were on high alert there. If we look through some of the debris here, you can see not only the pooling of the water, but you may see a sort of a dog that is running through. We believe that is one of the search and rescue dogs, that the canine units that have been called in as they search through those bricks to try and see if they can find any possible people who are injured, anyone who may be trapped. That shot that we're looking at in the bottom corner of your screen, you can see the mangled mess of this building, the incinerator unit that's on the side of this building, the incinerator shaft that imploded and came crashing down. Those are some of the earliest words that we've heard so far. And we just got this in just seconds ago. This is from one of the reporters that we know is from Live Now, Fox, from Fox, one of our affiliates. New York City mayor has responded on the partial building collapse, saying, quote, "I have been briefed about the emergency situation taking place in the Mott Haven area of the Bronx. We are getting a full assessment from first responders and will continue to provide updates." Obviously, the last thing that he said here is please avoid the area. Okay, so there's the dog that we were talking about before, and you can see one of the officers here sort of guiding that dog. So it's not a stray dog that's sort of running around this area. This dog is here. He's here for a purpose, and that dog is looking for anyone who may be trapped underneath that debris, underneath that rubble. So far, though, we haven't heard any reports of injuries. So one last time, setting the scene before we sort of take this camera shot full, and we let just the live shot sort of move there. Mott Haven section of the Bronx, Alexandra Avenue, a residential building, at least 12, 13, maybe 14 stories high. The incinerator shaft on that building has imploded. It came crashing down. People were inside this building when it happened. You can see clothes in the windowsills there. You can see the drone unit. We believe that's from the NYPD, possibly from the FDNY, but we know it's from emergency officials. They put up those drones when things like this happen because they want to maybe get a different angle. Is there anything that they're missing on the ground? Is there anything that they're not able to see? So with those drones, they can sort of get into some of those cracks and crevices, maybe that they are otherwise unable to see. Good news so far, no reports of injuries. The possibility of a gas explosion, very strong. We're going to give you more updates as we get them, as we zoom out here, taking that live look. And the Mott Haven section of the Bronx, now very much an area where emergency responders are focused, trying to make sure that no one is trapped, no one is injured. The engineers, you have to imagine, will be going in soon to determine the structural stability of the unit and how long things are going to be disrupted there. But certainly a long way to clean up and a long way and a lot of answers that some of the people who are in charge of this building are going to have to answer for this morning. New York City Housing Authority certainly will be under the microscope. All right, that's all we got for now. We'll check back in with you soon.
I'm here, Wanda. I think we can do it. Let me double check. Hey, Chris. We're good for 10 o'clock if I do something at 10, right? I said we're good for the top of 10 o'clock if I do something at 10, right? Okay. Yep, Wanda, that'll work. Okay. Not cool. Yeah. Looks like they have 2 drones up, huh? Yeah, those are the landing pads for the drones. Oh, 100%. Just what I wanted. Can we come forward a little bit? I lost my... I don't want to orbit. I just want to come forward. The tree seems to be blocking. Remember we were looking at the water that was bubbling out of the ground before? I feel like we drifted backwards. I can't see the water bubbling anymore. So we just come forward a little bit, just so I can see the water bubble. Yeah, okay, good. Good. And that. I had a truck I was looking at before. Where did it go? Oh, they must have moved it a little bit more. They had a front end loader from, oh. Sorry, Wanda. I was distracted there. DEP, what? Yep. Yeah, to see if it was going to be a water main with the building or a public one or whatever. That little bubbly water right there. Yep. Copy that. Okay, can you slide a little more to the right? Same position. Yeah, just a little bit to the right, a little bit to the east. Okay, that should work. I lost where the helipads are. Huh. Oh, okay. That's good. And liftoff. Um, that's it's a dumb question. That's in the Bronx, right? 3rd Avenue, 184. We can try. Let me see what our fuel is when we get ready to leave, and I'll see what we can do. Um, when we go to leave, after 10 o'clock, if we have time, I'm looking for it on the map. Okay. Before or when we get ready to leave, can we go up to the Bronx Zoo? Not right now. When we go to leave after 10 o'clock, we might want to go to the Bronx Zoo and look at a police scene. Okay. I have it on the map. It's just on the over here on the west side of the zoo. Okay. Okay. Where were we? There we go. Oh, thank you, Wanda. Well, thank you for all your help. I appreciate all the info. I gotcha. Good morning. And here's Cindy. Cindy's in the studio. Cool. And it's Dan, just so you know. Okay, we're getting ready to go in about 2 minutes, Chris. Just watch. I want to be able to see the little water. We're losing the water thing again. Yeah, just come a little bit to the left. Good, Chris. Okay, I'll keep a shot similar to this. You want to stay in on the bricks? Okay. Okay. I just see my video being used elsewhere at the moment. So let's do that then. Great. Okay, standing by for a report. And Cindy, this all happened at around 8:10 this morning. A ventilation shaft for an incinerator on this building here in the Mitchell Houses, 204, I believe it is, Alexander Avenue. An explosion inside that shaft separated that 70-foot by 100-foot shaft, from the building down to the ground. We started on the top of the building here, 20 stories high. You can see where all that brick got pulled away and just blew apart from the top of the building. Look at the air conditioning units on the right side of your screen. You can see the force at which that explosion happened. taking out those air conditioning units, destroying others in their windows. We come back down to the ground, and you see nothing but a pile of bricks down here at the base of the building. I want you to look at that door that's on the left side of your video there. You got to figure that's about a 7-foot tall door, and the bricks go as high as that door, just about there. We look inside, you can see what remains of that unit that was at the base of this shaft down there. And look at the right side of that structure there. You can see 4 layers of bricks that made up that shaft, and yet all those bricks just...
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. If you're watching Good Day New York and you're switching over here, we appreciate it. It is just about 10:01 here on this Wednesday morning, and we are tracking breaking news. You may have seen it throughout the course of this morning. This is a partial building collapse that you're looking at right here, the Mott Haven section of the Bronx. We've gotten sort of conflicting reports of exactly what the address is. We've heard 205 Alexander Avenue or 207 Alexander Avenue. Either way, it is a residential building, possibly 20 stories tall. And as we zoom out here, you're going to take a look at some of the specific damage that we're looking at. Even if you look on this shot here, you can see, let's stay with this shot just for 1 second. You can see in the top left-hand corner, you can see 2 drone units. Those drones, we believe, were from the NYPD or the FDNY, and then you can sort of see that structure and where the damage is. So what is that structure? What actually happened here? What we're told is that that is an incinerator shaft. So, you know, many of these buildings, you have an area where maybe you throw your trash, you put it down the chute, and so we're thinking that that is what that is. A gas explosion that happened. The first reports were between 8:15 and 8:30 this morning. That's when we first started to hear about this. Residents in the area say they felt the rattling, they heard the explosion, obviously because it was a big explosion there. And one of the first indications of what the cause was came in pretty much at exactly the same time. People say they smelled gas. So we think that this was a possible gas explosion within the incinerator shaft of this building that caused this implosion. From what we're told, shortly after, FDNY, EMS, everyone on scene evacuated that building, got everybody out of there because the structural integrity of that building was unclear at that moment. Because it had just happened, they weren't sure if there was going to be more damage in the building, if this building was actually going to have more structural damage that was going to cause it to completely fall down. Obviously, that has not happened. One piece of activity that we've seen pretty much throughout this whole morning, in that bricks and rubble that is right there in the center of your screen at this point, it's kind of a common area of this section. This is the Mitchell houses, a NYCHA building, and that's where the gas explosion happened. And so down there is where all the debris fell. Because this is a public housing unit, if you're sort of familiar with it, there's the common area that is in this part of the building. And so the question, is anyone underneath that debris? The early indications, good news, considering how severe this is. No reports of injuries, no reports of anyone that's trapped, but you can see the NYPD has those drone units up because it's possible maybe they didn't see everything that they could from the ground, but it has been a thorough search that has been happening on the ground because throughout the morning we have seen FDNY crews and even some of those search dogs, the canine units that have been going in and taking a closer look. So what are they doing now? Well, they want to know exactly what caused this. So you can see the NYPD drone maybe getting as close as they can. Maybe they can get some indication, some evidence as to what exactly happened here. The deeper question, was there some kind of work going on in this building at the time? Was there anything that could have given any indication as to what may have led to this occurring? And when you take a closer look at the building, we've got a zoomed up shot. This is from the ground looking up. Take a look at that air conditioning unit that's right there in the top corner of the screen. You could see it right before the camera panned off. And as you look there, New York City building inspectors that are going in and out of the building, some of the residents down on the ground there, certainly completely terrified by this situation. So the question that we have, what was the specific source of the cause? You can imagine there are going to be NYCHA officials from within city government, the buildings department. They're going to have some very serious questions that they have to ask themselves and that they have to answer as to why exactly this happened. Did they have any indication that there was a problem with this incinerator shaft previously? Was there any work that was being done? Was there any work that had been ordered that hadn't been done yet? Those are some of the questions that we're going to have to answer. Did this building itself have any reports of anything that was going on in the weeks or months prior to this that could have led to this situation here? But I was talking about sort of the severity of the explosion, and you can see those air conditioning units that are right next to that side of the building. So many of them are shaken from their initial spot. A couple of them actually fell out of the windows, and you can see them on the ground down below. So if you're just tuning in, 10:06 here on this Wednesday morning, this is a partial building collapse in the Bronx, the Mott Haven section, the Mitchell houses in the Mott Haven section, a NYCHA building. Early indications, a strong odor of gas that was reported. Firefighters, EMS on the scene. Certainly a high risk for the residents there. One of the reasons why this building had to be evacuated. They want to make sure that this area is going to be safe, that there isn't going to be any further damage that's going to happen there. New York City Mayor Eric Adams did issue a statement a short time ago, essentially saying that he has been briefed about the emergency situation there. He confirmed what is very obvious, that this is a very serious situation. But he emphasized that you need to avoid this area if you can. As we zoom out a little bit, what you may notice on the right side of your screen, just sort of up in the right-hand corner there across the street, it's a school. So when this happened at 8:26, you can imagine parents may be dropping off their kids at school. Certainly kids may have been in the class. A terrifying situation for them as well. So we're not sure if that school was let out earlier or anything along those lines. But we do know that the good news, investigators, FDNY, K9 units, search and rescue teams so far have not located anyone beneath that rubble, and there's no indication that there is anyone down there because at least we don't have anyone reported missing and we don't have any injuries to be reported. This is early on in this investigation, less than 2 hours, so that part of the information may change, but at this moment, that's what we have. We are expecting an update from the FDNY a short time from now. We are expecting an update from some of the other city officials who are responding, but the good news here, it appears that FDNY crews are sort of wrapping up their hoses there. They're moving slower than if they had a emergency situation where they had to get somebody out. So that part of the situation is good news. What will happen next in terms of the answers that we may get from NYPD, from FDNY, and from some of those other teams, that's going to happen probably in the next hour or so when we get that briefing. So one last time, this partial building collapse in the Mott Haven section of the Bronx, an incinerator shaft on that building appears to have imploded, come crashing down, the debris down there on the ground, residents terrified, but good news, at this point, no reports of injuries. All right, so that's what we have so far. We're gonna keep this stream up, so this, don't worry, this is gonna be up throughout the morning as long as we can. We've got the chopper unit that's over, and we'll keep it live so that when we know, you'll know.
If you're on Fox Local, we're going to go to Live Now, though.
And if you're on Fox Local, you're going to go, what is it? You're going to go...
Live Now.
You're going to go to Live Now. Okay, so if you're on Fox Local, you're going to go to Live Now. And we know certainly they cover a lot of these situations as well. So just check in with them, and we'll keep you posted.
back when we stopped
Can you leave an opening so we can get in and out?
which way you want to go? What happened? Hanging out on the outskirts. All right. Hey, want to say hello? You know. I'm trying to keep, Chris is leaving. He said his out time is 11 o'clock on Friday. I was like, okay, so what happens is Friday's Diddy sentence. What happens if Diddy walks right up to you at 10:57? It's like, I didn't see him. It's like, I am done. Oh my God! Anyhow, are you good?
Yeah, all good.
All right.
How about yourself?
Yeah? Right now, I rode my bike here. I live uptown, so, and it's downhill. Yeah. I went across, not a big.
You got a cable I can use? Audio? Rather than burning up a battery in the wireless. Well, I was coming in here to shoot, not to do live shots, but kind of like to be portable and moving around. Kind of transition into a let's see.
I don't know what that means. Peace. Peace to you. What's up? No. I called it. I spent 2 months up there. Give me 2 minutes, let me finish.
For a minute, I thought it was a shooter. Oh, no, I wasn't there. you're not going to get anything that's criminal justice. But a jury would eat that up. What is John? Somebody called me John. They want me to arrange for a camera to follow the mayor towards the scene. Someone from our desk, or our station.
Oh,
Jonah. Who's that?
he's a PA.
I'm supposed to find someone from the mayor's office and ask him if our camera could follow the mayor when he tours the. Get over there in case they. Chicken, I can put it in the chocolate.
Those are from Trader Joe's.
No, I make it myself.
Wait, you can cook? You can cook?
I can cook. I am a
Just say.
egg noodles, butter, onion, bouillon, paprika, and yogurt.
I gotta go and see.
That looks good. Oh my God, I got the same warmer. Works really good. That's Pyrex, right? The glass? Better than buying it.
I know. I got a girl is That's like a non-lethal gun.
Yeah, I was like, am I smiling too big? No, it's okay. I do.
He came out on the boat with me and he wore Luca. He had Luca and I was driving home.
Like a good laugh.
That was exactly how it happened. I was like, okay, what? This is shocking me. So guess what? I got this whole set of
Oh my God.
I'm Jess. I just started a new station. Sorry. I was watching. You take your own space. Yeah. Thank you. We did. So Jay had but I think
So I'm here on the Alexander Avenue side, which is open platform and Roosevelt and Seymour. Now, the other side is really the side. Yeah, if you don't have it's still live yet, I suggest you go over there. Yeah, whatever you want. Like from that's another one. Right. Okay, so Dave is set up. I mean, everybody was here on the Alexander side. Unfortunately, you don't see a profile. You see. Oh, so it's not like a stable. All right. I'll stay here. We could always cut to those shots, right? I'll have to stand in front. And there's enough here. Okay. No, you're right. So the first ones you got here, I'm like, just do this one. Anyways, okay. So yeah, I don't think there's people out here right now. Arthur? Yo. Can I leave my bag with you? Or Dave? Yeah, I'll leave it with Dave.
Flatline moving company that's down the block. We all assumed it was just two trucks that collided to each other, or a truck and a car. It's just, an accident happened. I come outside, I walk down the block, and there's an explosion.
What'd you say to yourself?
It was crazy. I don't know. At first I thought, I was like, dag, like it's like 9/11 all over again. Could be more, it could be bombers, it could be anything.
You get pretty scared, or how have you processed this? You've been staring at this for a minute.
I don't know. I've seen things, and because I'm prior military, this was like, I just want to help, but it's like nothing more to do.
So it was around 8 o'clock?
Yeah, around like 8, 7:50-ish.
You were home or out walking around?
No, I was home. I saw smoke from my window. I saw the birds fly away. I was like, something is wrong.
And when you came outside, you knew?
Everybody was outside. It was so many fire engines, so many police cars. The block was shut off.
Pronounce your last name for me.
Delmas Talley.
All right. Thank you so much. Told you that was innocent. Thank you for your service.
I got that time. I got some about 10 minutes ago. Curious when they're calling their own or when somebody updated.
Good morning, everyone. As you can see from behind us, there was a partial building infrastructure collapse due to what seems in preliminary investigations. There was some type of explosion. This happened at 8:10 this morning. We received reports of an incident involving the chimney to the boiler room here at NYCHA's Mitchell houses. This resulted in a partial building collapse. We are extremely fortunate. At this time, we have no loss of life or no injuries. Residents of the F and G lines in the building were evacuated, and other tenants can reoccupy the building at this time once we ensure the safety of the structure. First responders quickly arrived on the scene, and an investigation is currently underway to determine the cause of the incident. We're still investigating to make that determination. All of this is unfolding situation at this time, and we want to make sure that people stay away from the area to keep them safe. We have traffic and pedestrian restrictions throughout the area. Gas to the entire complex is shut off right now, and inspections of the building are ongoing. And it's crucial that we ensure that the area is safe, so we're really calling for residents not to go anywhere near the area. I want to thank NYCHA, FDNY, NYPD, NYSEM, DOB, and Deputy Mayor of Public Safety, and Con Edison for their swift response. And as the mayor, it's my obligation to ensure that the tenants and residents in this area are safe. I want to turn it over now to Commissioner Tucker. Then we will hear from NYSEM Commissioner Jack Iskel, and finally the Borough President of the Bronx. Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Good morning. It's Robert Tucker, the New York City Fire Commissioner. As the mayor said this morning, just after 8 a.m., the fire department was notified of an explosion. We responded in less than 4 minutes, and when our units got here, they alerted us to a major collapse of a structure attached to this building behind us. As you can see, numerous FDNY and EMS units responded to the scene. Luckily, as the mayor said, no one was injured. We ran our dogs over this pile of bricks that is behind us, which is the structure that collapsed. It is a ventilation shaft connected to the boiler, which collapsed. We believe that's where the explosion occurred, but that's going to be for our fire marshals and the NYPD and all of our investigative partners to investigate and explore. I just want to acknowledge the partnership among all the first responders. While we might have been here first, the fact is that nothing in public safety happens alone. And it's just a really amazing response, and thanks to our elected officials as well for getting out here as quickly as they did. All in all, a great response, and thank God no one was hurt.
Thank you all so much for being here today. Really appreciate all the incredible response by the FDNY and some of our partners. Right now, we're kicking into the next phase of this operation, which is recovery. So this is a fairly large campus. We're working with our partners at NYCHA, DOB, Con Ed, our public safety agencies, and others, as well as our some of our community partners here on restoring services and taking care of the residents. So number one, the safety of the residents is of paramount importance, and that's the number one concern. We have building inspectors that are inspecting the foundation of the building and inspecting all of the apartments in the affected areas to make sure that the building is structurally sound for people that live in those wings. We've also opened up a reception center with NYCHA and with the Red Cross right here around the corner at the Mitchell Community Center at 210 Alexander Avenue. Any impacted residents, we encourage them to go there. They can register with the Red Cross, and if we need to do a vacate at some point in time, that's also where we'll run the operations for people getting additional housing. Anybody with any issues can call 311, or they can call the NYCHA number at 718-707-7771. What we're now doing is working with Con Ed, NYCHA, DOB, and some of these other partners. Some demolition is going to take place today to remove the remnants of that chimney, to get into the basement, and then to restore services, heat, hot water, and cooking gas to the campus. So really appreciate all the incredible work that has been done and all the work that will be done going forward. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Bronx Borough President Vanessa L. Gibson, and I'm so thankful that we came here to the scene so quickly this morning. Incredible efforts by all of our first responders. I want to thank our Mayor, Eric Adams, and all of our commissioners, Commissioner Robert Tucker. Thank you to Commissioner Zach Eiskell and to all of our agencies. Thank you to Deputy Mayor Cass Daughtry. Everyone came this morning here to Mitchell Houses, and as it has been said, we are thankful that there were no fatalities and no injuries, as we have learned that this happened in the boiler room. But most importantly for all of us, elected officials and community leaders here, we want to ensure that the structural integrity of this building here at Mitchell is maintained. There is a lot of concern, a lot of anxiety from the residents that live here at Mitchell about what happens in the long term. And so over the next several hours, as inspectors are in the building, we will do everything possible to make sure that we minimize the disruption and the anxiety of the residents and the families here in this working class community. I am so grateful for the FDNY, NYPD, sanitation, DEP, all of our elected officials, community board leaders. I'm thankful for NYCHA. This is something that has happened before, right here in the Bronx, in the West Bronx, almost 2 years ago. And so this is something that I've experienced before as borough president, and the mayor as well. We were on scene there. And we know there are a lot of questions, and we will make sure we answer every question. When this happened earlier this morning, many people had already left for their day, going to work in other places. Children were in school. And so over the next several hours at the evacuation center, we will make sure that residents are provided with food and other necessities as we ensure that the inspections are done in an efficient manner to make sure that both short-term and long-term goals are met when it comes to the safety of the building and the residents here at Mitchell. So once again, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much, and thank you everyone for being here, all of our agencies. This is an all-hands-on-deck moment, and we avoided a major disaster here. Although there is a lot of cleanup, I'm so grateful that no one lost their life. No one is in the hospital, and that is important to be acknowledged. We will learn through this investigation what happened, and we will make sure that measures are put in place to support all the residents and families here at Mitchell. So thank you so much to everyone for being here. It's so important that you recognize that we are all working together and collaboratively. I want to acknowledge and bring up our New York City Council Deputy Speaker, who represents this district, Diana Ayala.
And I'm bringing with me Assemblymember Amanda Septimo, who also represents this area. I wanted to say a few words in Spanish. You've heard, all of the details in English, pero quería decir que estamos hoy aquí en Mitchell Houses. Obviamente esta mañana tuvimos una explosión en el departamento del boiler que subió al área de la chimenea y eso resultó en que la estructura se cayera parcialmente. Estamos tratando de identificar la causa exacta. Todavía tenemos los ingenieros y todo el personal que se encarga de eso están aquí, pero quería dejarles saber que a los inquilinos y las personas que están llamando, que están preocupadas, que gracias a Dios no hubo fatalidad, todo el mundo está bien, las personas que trabajan aquí, gracias a Dios, pudieron salirse del medio a tiempo, y ahora la prioridad es asegurar que la estructura de los apartamentos que estaban lo más cercanos a la línea F y G estén estructuralmente bien y que las personas puedan volver. En el caso de que no puedan volver, NYCHA ha identificado cuartos en hoteles en el área para poder relocar esas personas y le van a dar obviamente unos vouchers para que tengan para comer y para lo que necesiten. Y estamos también trabajando con los inquilinos si necesitan medicina y tienen que entrar al edificio para que alguien entre con ellos. A los que tienen mascotas, pues estamos también haciendo la diligencia para asegurar de que se las puedan llevar con ellos. Pero como dijo la portavoz, la presidenta del condado, tuvimos mucha suerte en este caso de que nadie salió herido de esto. Esto se puede arreglar, pero no tuvimos ninguna pérdida de vida, que fue un milagro en actualidad. No va a haber gas. Obviamente el boiler que se dañó, obviamente que explotó, es el boiler que prohíbe la calefacción y el agua caliente para todo el complejo. NYCHA va a traer unidades portables por ahora, temporariamente, y le seguiremos dando más información mientras venga, pero por ahora, gracias a Dios, está todo el mundo seguro. Estamos dando información, la Cruz Roja está aquí cogiendo los datos de las personas en el caso de que se tengan que relocar.
I'm going to be brief, pero voy a comenzar en español. Nosotros sabemos hoy que fue un accidente grandísimo aquí en el Bronx. Se evitó una tragedia, pero nosotros tenemos que ver cuál fue la causa, porque nosotros solamente vemos problemas como en lugares como lo de nosotros. Áreas como el Bronx, que no tienen recursos. Nosotros le mandamos recursos a NYCHA para asegurar que nuestros edificios pueden estar seguros, pero estamos aquí en esta emergencia. Nosotros tenemos que averiguar qué fue lo que pasó y por qué siempre pasa en lugares como el Bronx. Yo soy Amanda Séptimo, asambleísta aquí en el Distrito 84. Most of what needs to be said has already been said. My name is Amanda Septimo. I represent this area. We have to get to the bottom of what happened. We were lucky that this emergency didn't result in a loss of life, that it didn't turn into a tragedy, but we can't be relying on luck to keep our community safe. We send resources down from the state to make sure that boilers get fixed, to make sure that elevators get replaced. We have to get a clear accounting of what happened and who is responsible, because we cannot leave our tenants to hope that everything is happening the way that it's supposed to. And today is evidence of the fact that it absolutely is not. So I'm thankful to FDNY, to all of the first responders who are here, making sure that we can get this building to a place where people can feel comfortable living in it. But what I look forward to most is tenants getting back inside there, us making sure that they actually feel safe, and getting to the bottom of what happened here today. Thank you.
I want to hear from NYCHA.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Eva Trimble, the Chief Operating Officer at NYCHA. I just want to reiterate the thanks to this interagency initiative this morning has been truly tremendous, the support we're getting from all the parties, NYPD, Con Ed, and of course FDNY, who is first on the scene. We are working closely with them on the investigation, but most importantly, we are working closely with our residents. We have significant amount of staff here on site right now, working with our residents, going door to door, making sure they have the services they need, and we'll continue to do that all morning and throughout this situation. Thank you.
Thank you. To top. Who you calling? Mm-hmm.
What has been done with their concerns? They told management.
Oh, that's part of the investigation to determine if there was a gas leak here.
The federal government shut down today. Is that going to have any impact on the repair efforts in this building? I'm thinking specifically of FEMA, HUD, or any other federal dollars that may be up there.
No, the repairs are going to take place no matter what, and we're doing an analysis of the impact of the shutdown on the federal level. But that has something to do with making sure that this shoring up the building where the explosion took place and doing the repairs.
What do you say, Mayor, and maybe from the NYCHA spokesperson, to the people who lived here and have feared something like this could happen and are afraid to go back in?
Well, it's not lost on me that October 1st is the first day that heating is turned on, and I think that all of us should use this as a reminder that your boilers have been sitting idle throughout the entire summer. And so when you flip those switches, and in fact I have to do the same on my small building, to make sure you see if there's a smell of gas, just take an extra step of precaution. The hundreds of NYCHA housing throughout the city, today this switch is going to be flipped to turn on their boilers, and we're going to make sure as safety as possible. No one woke up this morning and said we wanted an explosion here at this building. Our thousands of NYCHA's employees are dedicated, committed public servants. Anytime anyone that knows that when gas is involved, you want to be take as much precaution as possible, and when things like this happen, you investigate to determine how do we alleviate, if not eradicate it from happening in the future.
A related question. For all NYCHA properties then, is there some protocol that's going to happen now that this has happened?
You want to speak about that, NYCHA? Did you hear the question?
Yes, I did hear the question. Thank you. So to be clear, NYCHA tests all of our boilers throughout the summer ahead of heat season. We do a summer overhaul that actually starts in the early spring to make sure the equipment is ready for the heat season. So we have to wait for the investigation to see exactly what happened here in order to figure out how we prevent this from happening again.
Mayor, two questions. One is, how long do you expect it'll take before you know whether or not it's safe for the residents in this building? Are we talking about an hour, hours, a day? And then the other question is, was there work going on recently with that boiler?
Was there, I'm sorry, the second part?
Recent work going on with that boiler.
So let's find out the recent work. And is Jimmy here? Commissioner Adams? Are you doing the structure aspect of how long it takes to get back in the building?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to regroup as a team later in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock hour, after we've had some assessments. Our DOB team is in a complementary role. We have our emergency response team. We have our forensic engineering unit to partner with our friends at NYCHA to walk the buildings. We'll have a better assessment about all of it in the early afternoon. In terms of the question of work being done, my understanding is that work was being done on the boiler. I don't know if our friends at Fire or Con Ed want to speak to that. A permit was pulled and work was being done on it actively.
I have a follow-up. My understanding is that there was a partial stop work order on this building issued in June. Did it have anything to do with what happened today?
We have our team back at 280 going through the records on all of these buildings, and there are some open violations, but we don't know at this time if they have anything to do with this incident. We come here often for sidewalk sheds or elevators. There are 3 open violations on boilers, but those were for non-safety related defects, and I just urge caution that we don't jump to any conclusions that they are related. We don't know if they are or they aren't. We certainly will certainly let everyone know as soon as our team has done its full assessment.
Residents don't know safe sleeping in their apartment buildings.
Wait, hold on. She's going to point to who we asked the question. We're not going to call out.
Actually, I guess just ahead of that question, how many people exactly evacuated, displaced, and I know you have to wait for the inspection, but can they return some of them tonight, or do they all need a place to stay?
NYCHA?
So the investigation is still going on. We have DOB inspectors as well as structural engineers going door to door, going through every single apartment. Right now, this morning, FDNY evacuated the F and the G lines, but those are the only people right now that are evacuated from the building. So we're going door to door to ensure the structural integrity of those units, as well as inspecting the basements and roof and other parts of the structure to ensure there's nothing wrong with the building. Until we know the results of that investigation, we really can't say what's going to happen next.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, guys.